Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to high school football on WLCS Cable TV in Lorain. I'm Tim Elkhorn, and today we'll bring you the Admirals from Admiral King taking on the Lorain High Steelmen in a traditional inter-city rivalry over here in Lorain. Both clubs come into today's ball game at 1-4, but you throw the record books out when these two teams match up over at George Daniel Field. For Lorain, you're looking at the run-and-shoot offense led by quarterback Sean Reardon, and for Admiral King, traditional tailback-oriented offense with Greg Lusain. Football on 1320 WOBL. We are at George Daniel Field in Lorain to bring you the traditional rivalry of the Steelmen from Lorain High taking on the Admirals from Admiral King. And it certainly is a pleasure to be working once again with Gary Pelter and my special guest this afternoon, Jeff Risen, the head coach of the Elyria High Pioneers. An exciting win last night over the Sailors from Vermilion High School. We'll talk about that game at halftime. But Jeff, as an Admiral King alumni, you know what this ball game means to these two schools. Should be a fun game to watch and call this afternoon.
Oh, without question. Being an Admiral King graduate, my loyalty is still there, but on the other hand, I coached with Jim Uzinski as a rookie coach and have a lot of feeling for him as well. I'm looking forward to a good ball game.
Coach, I'm sure you've had a chance to scout both of these ball clubs. Some things we can look for this afternoon.
I've only had the opportunity at this point to see Admiral King play, and they're still a very run-oriented power football team that has a great defense. Lorain High is going more with a true run and shoot, so I'm sure they'll be throwing the ball a lot more, and they have changed to a 4-4 defense from what I understand. So with Terry King as their defensive coordinator, so it'll be interesting to see them play.
The Admirals from Admiral King will kick off. They will defend the goal to our left. They're technically the home team this afternoon. They're in their dark blue uniforms with the white letters and numbers, with the gold and blue Ram helmet. Lorain High in their visiting whites with the black helmet. And Zaikuta puts it in the air. Short kick taken by one of the upmen at the 20-yard line, making his way up the middle of the 25 to the 30 and out over the 30 to the 35-yard line. So the upman for Lorain High, Josh Jenkins, gives them excellent field position.
It looked like there was an opening up the middle, just didn't have the speed to get there, but they start out with good field position.
And their quarterback Sean Reardon brings the team out. First down and 10 for the Steelmen at their own 35-yard line. Things just underway on an absolutely gorgeous afternoon for high school football. As Jeff mentioned, they run that run-and-shoot offense. Pat Nazario goes in motion to the right, handoff to Bo Amons, and he's stacked up right at the 35-yard line. Took a tremendous hit. No gain on the play. It'll be second down and 10. Coach, both these clubs 1-4, but you throw the record book out. It's a spirited, hard-hitting ball game every year.
That's right. You don't have to have rain to make it equal here. Just the fact that where the two schools are from are going to make it a great football game.
Second down and 9 will give Bo Amons one on the carry. Reardon, long signal count, rolls to the right, throws a quick hitter out to Nazario to the 35, to the 40, tiptoes along the sideline and gets out to the 44. Maybe about a half yard shy of the first, but a simple little pitch to the right.
It's a possession pass. It's not a difficult pass to throw, right into the flats. Just got him the ball and let him do what he can do, and that's run. They got a nice gain out of it.
And they mark it across the 45-yard line, so it's a first down and 10 for the Steelmen. Sean Reardon, the senior quarterback, runs the show. In the backfield with him, Bo Amons. He's carried the ball once already. The wingbacks, Eddie Miller and Pat Nazario, will alternate at one spot. Jamie Godden and Bareback at the other. Chris McGinty, an excellent receiver, will line up at the split end position. And Andy Tiemann and Jim Miller will rotate at the other end position. Reardon hands off to Amons. Amons looking for room over left tackle. Gets out to about the 48-yard line. Pickup of 3. It'll be second down and 7. Eric Koski in on the stop for Admiral King. So right now, Jim Uzinski mixing it up a little bit.
Right, he's trying to establish, I think, the ground game to make what is, he's setting up the pass with a run right now is what he's doing.
McGinty splits to the left, big Jim Miller to the right, and again, double wing with the lone back, Bo Amons, behind Sean Reardon. Now Nazario goes in motion to the right. Reardon throws it out to Nazario, and he just holds on to it, gets out to the 49, and he's stopped right there. Excellent defensive play made by Admiral King's Chris Zerinski.
That was the base run and shoot play that you teach the first day of double sessions right there. They motion to give him trips to the right, and he reads it. He's looking for a short slant in by the split end, and if he's not open, he dumps it off to Nazario, as you mentioned, and that's what he did. He read it and dumped it to him.
Third down and 6 for the Steelmen. They're at their own 49-yard line, 9:55 to go. First quarter of play. Godman comes in motion to the left, and Reardon throws it out to him. Godman gets to the 50, breaks outside to the 45, ridden out of bounds at the Admiral King 43-yard line. But that should be enough for a Steelman first down. It is. So Sean Reardon just throwing the outlet pass to the wing, and it's there.
Right. Lorain High is just taking what Admiral King is giving them, and they're really concentrating on covering McGinney and the other receivers, and they're just dropping it to the motion man, and he's running.
We'll set the Admiral King defense after this play. First down and 10 for the Steelmen. They're at the Admiral 44-yard line. 9:49 to go first quarter. First possession of the ball game for Lorain High. Reardon hands off to Amons, right over right tackle, and he's stacked up right there. He may have gotten 1 or 2. That's about it. It'll set up second down and 8. Kerry Metler in on the stop for Admiral King. We'll set their defense for you, and you'll see plenty of people on defense for Admiral King. Tom Cisco gets everybody some action. Steve Allen and Steve Hicks will be at nose guard. Brian DeMarco and Kerry Metler will be at defensive tackle. Brian Smith also plays defensive tackle. O'Brien O'Neill is one defensive end, and Kurt Pavlich is the other defensive end. We'll give you the linebackers and defensive secondary after this play. Reardon back to pass, rolling to the right. Here comes the heat, and he escapes the heat, gets to the 50, now throws it downfield, and he threw it incomplete. He was looking for Andy Tiemann. He may have thrown that ball away, Jeff.
I think he did. It looked like the same man was open again early. Again, they were motioning from left to right, giving him 3 receivers to the right, and then the motion man looked open, but he got heat, and they forced him out of the pocket, and that was what caused the incompletion.
O'Brien O'Neill was trying to track Reardon down, and he got a hand on him at about the 50-yard line, but Reardon got outside and threw it away. Nevertheless, it sets up a third down and 9. Greg Lusane and Eric Koski are the Admiral linebackers, and the 4 defensive backs, Dax Comer, James Saunders, Scott Wolf, Mike Akessi, and Chris Zerinski will alternate at one quarterback spot. Third down and 9. Nazario goes in motion to the right. Reardon, quick drop back, now rolls to the left, throws it out, incomplete. He was looking for McGinty at the 35-yard line. Nice coverage from Scott Wolf. So it sets up 4th and 9, and the Steelmen will punt it away.
That time they crossed up, or tried to cross up Admiral King a little bit here with motioning left to right, and they came back to the single receiver side, tried to hit McGinney, and that's tough. That puts stress on that defensive back because they're practically in a one-on-one situation.
Jeff, it appears as though more clubs are trying to utilize the short side of the field, both running and passing. Why is that?
Well, with their philosophy, I think it's their quarterback, who's an excellent thrower, and McGinney, who's their best receiver.
Reardon kicks it away. High end-over-end kick, and it takes a Lorain High bounce inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. So the Admirals from Admiral King will start off with their backs to the wall on their first possession. They have 96 yards to go. And if you've got a great back, 96 yards or maybe 99 yards, Jeff Risen, isn't a long way to go.
Well, it only happens once in a lifetime, I think, and we were able to do it last night. Tony Godbold.
Definitely want to talk about that at halftime. What an exciting player he is. First down and 10 for the Admirals. Again, they start off at their own 4-yard line. Mike Akessi is the quarterback, hands off, and up the middle is Riggins out to the 9-yard line. Henry Riggins picks up 5.
Just a simple isolation play to try to get them some field positions, and he did a nice job with it. He gained a few extra yards after he was hit.
Henry Riggins and Greg Lusain will both see action at tailback for the Admirals. The fullback is Kurt Pavlich. As I mentioned, their quarterback is senior Mike Akesy. Tight end is James Saunders. Wingback, Mike Hudson, Scott Wolf. And all sorts of players will be in at wide receiver. Right now, Akesy hands off to Riggins again out over the 10 to the 13-yard line. It'll be about a yard shy of the first. It'll set up 3rd down and 1. Of course, they run to that right side, and why not when you've got Brian DeMarco there at right tackle?
That's true. He's a great offensive player and a good lead blocker. And they also took their tight end and flexed him a little bit to give their tailback a little bit more room, because you have to respect that as a defensive player and move out.
3rd down and a short 2. Ball just outside the 13-yard line. 7:35 to go first quarter, and the Admirals on their first possession. Akesy bobbles the snap, and now he decides to run it himself, and he's stacked up right at the 11-yard line. Akesy appeared as though he pulled out too soon. He never had the ball firmly in his hands, and he bobbled it.
And they were in a very strong formation to their right. They had taken their flanker and put him between the tackle and the tight end to give him a strong running attack to that side, along with DeMarco. So they were definitely coming right again that time.
So the Admirals will be forced to punt it away, 3 and out, and the Steelmen should get excellent field position. Akesy standing right at his own goal line as it's 4th and 3 from the 12. Akesy gets the kick away, and it's a low kick taken at the 45-yard line, and looking for room to the right side is the return man. He gets outside and dropped at the 47-yard line, so he ran backwards, Eddie Miller did, and he actually lost 2 yards on the return, running east-west instead of north-south.
Well, what he was trying to do is reach the wall. Lorain High School had set up a wall return with their punt. Admiral King broke through and disturbed the timing of it, and he couldn't make it to the wall, and he made a nice move, avoided the tacklers, but then slipped.
It's a game of field position, and right now it's definitely in Lorain High's favor. They start off this drive in Admiral King territory. 1st down and 10 at the Admiral 46-yard line. Ball's at the right hash mark. Reardon sends Godman in motion to the left, and he throws it out to Godman. Godman looks to break outside, breaks a tackle, slips, and still gets on his feet to the 40, inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. So Godman slipped down, then broke a tackle, and got a nice gain out of it.
Right now they're just doing the same thing they started with that first series, and that's motioning across the formation, and as soon as the ball snapped, getting the ball right away to that motion man, and he's one-on-one with a defensive man, and he was able to break a tackle and gain some yardage that time.
2nd down and 1. We'll give 9 yards to Godman on that reception. Again, double wing formation. McGinty is to the left. Jim Miller is split wide to the right. Now Nazario goes in motion to the right. Reardon, long signal count, hands off to Amons inside the 35, bulls his way down to the 31-yard line. We've got our first flag of the afternoon. We'll wait and see what the call is. It's more than enough for a Lorain High 1st down, but the Admiral King players are clapping, and we've got a holding call going against Lorain, so that will nullify the first. First penalty of the afternoon goes against the Steelmen, and they'll mark off 10 yards. By the way, while we've got a minute, certainly want to welcome our audience from Lorain Cable, WLCS. Certainly hope you enjoy the ball game throughout the week. We'd like to thank Bob Quinlan for the opportunity to bring this one to you. Gee, Jeff, I told you you'd be on the radio. I never told you television.
That's right, going back home to Lorain.
An Admiral King alumni. Now, don't be too biased this afternoon.
No, I'll try not to be. It's difficult, though, when you grow up and your father is the coach at Admiral King years ago, too.
2nd down and 8. Ball marked back to the 43-yard line. Reardon again puts Nazario in motion to the right. Reardon, quick hitter over the middle, complete down to the 36-yard line. Nothing fancy to Nazario. Jeff, they keep sending that wingman in motion and then just hitting him with the flat pass.
Sure, and that was a good call by Coach Uzinski and his staff, because they'd been motioning and throwing to the motion man. This was more what they call the hot pass to the up back, the slot on that side to the motion, and they just dumped it right away to him. He was there for a nice gain.
3rd down and 1, ball marked at the 36-yard line of Admiral King. 5:25 to go here in the first quarter, no score. Lorain High has had the advantage as far as field position goes. Their first drive, they brought it into Admiral King territory before punting it away. Reardon on the quick hitter himself, and he gets more than enough for the first down inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Kurt Pavlich in on the stop along with Steve Allen. But the Steelmen offensively have moved the ball very well.
Right, and again, it's been nothing fancy. You know, a lot of people who aren't familiar with a run and shoot, they hear pass and they think wide open, and it is, but it's a controlled passing attack. They don't throw down the field a lot. It's mostly slants and outs to the motion people.
First down and 10 for Lorain High. They're at the Admiral King 33-yard line, right hash mark. Godman comes in motion to the left, Reardon back to pass. Sets, throws it downfield, looking for Godman, and it's picked off. Coming up the sideline for Admiral King and stepping out of bounds is Brian Lopez. But he played center field and picked it off.
Hey, no sooner do I say they don't throw the ball down the field, they go. Throw right down the field, and made a nice play that time to come across and pick it off. If he'd have been able to stay in bounds, he might have been able to go a long way.
So the first turnover of the ball game goes against Lorain High. That ball hung up there just a little too long for Sean Reardon.
Right, and it gave the defensive back a chance to come across.
So it's first down and 10 for the Admirals. They're at their own 21-yard line, and now they have a little room to operate on their second drive. Akesy hands off and second back through out to the 24-yard line. I believe was Henry Riggins. Yes. So Riggins picks up about 3. It'll be second down and 7. Jeff Freeman is the Admiral King center. Their two guards are Kerry Metler and Mike Grumbos. The big right tackle, as we talked about earlier, Brian DeMarco. And the left tackle is Dave Jeffries. 4:20 to go first quarter, and Lopez, who just made the interception, splits to the left. Saunders, the tight end, is to the right. Handoff goes to Riggins, looking for room over left tackle, out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. In on the stop, Chris Chaffee and Ed Miller for Lorain High.
First two plays of this series, we've seen Admiral King come back with what they ended up their last play before the punt, and that is they've come out in a tight slot where they put the flanker between the tackle and tight end to their strong side, and that should give them some strength to run there. Now that time they crossed up Lorain High and ran to their weak side for a couple of yards.
Third down and 3 for the Admirals. Again, I formation behind Mike Akesy. Wolf splits to the right, quick hitter over the middle to Saunders. Saunders with room out to the 41-yard line. Miller brought him down, but again we saw the, as you call it, that hot pass right to the tight end.
And they flexed the tight end, got him out a little bit wider, which makes it more difficult for that linebacker to get across and tip the ball or intercept it, and it was just a perfect pass, and he got a nice gain for a first down.
First down and 10 for the Admirals, and now they have some room to operate. They're at their own 41-yard line. Splitting wide to the right is Wolf. Again, I formation behind quarterback Mike Akesy. Pitch back goes to Riggins, looking for room left side out over the 40 to the 45-yard line, and rumbles his way out to the 46. Pickup of about 5. It'll be second down and 5.
That was a typical Admiral King running play. That's something that we've seen for years going back to Coach Bill Provident, and that's just the sweep play to the wide side of the field.
Can't ask for more than that on a first down play.
No, you're in 2nd and 5. In this situation, you're doing well.
Ball just about in the middle of the field. Wolf splits to the right. Again, I formation behind Akesy. Saunders, the tight end, is to the right. Akesy back to pass. Straight drop back. Looks, throws, and Saunders drops it at the midfield stripe. I believe James tried to run with that football before he had it in his hands.
He was wide open, and they went with some play action. It was a good call. The tight end came across the formation. They had some play action, faking the isolation to Riggins. Wide open. He just didn't tuck the ball away. They would have had a first down on that.
So now it's third down and 5 from the 45-yard line. Mike Hutz comes in with the play, and Hutz splits to the right. Again, I formation with Saunders, the tight end, to the right. Akesy, play action, back to pass. Here comes the heat. He rolls to the right, throws it out, and gets it to Saunders, and he dropped it again at the 49-yard line of Lorain High. A little bit of a tougher catch there. He had to sky for it and just had it go off his fingertips. Nice athletic move by Mike Akesy, though.
Yes, it was, and you have to credit Lorain High's defense with the pressure. That made the pass a little bit more difficult to throw, but the ball was there again. It was just a matter of bringing it in. It would have been close for a first down. It may have been a bit short.
So Akesy will drop back to kick it away, standing at his own 30-yard line. Nazario and Eddie Miller back deep for Lorain. Akesy gets the kick away, end over end kick, and Miller takes it at the 20, looking for room left side, tries to break outside, and he's dropped at the 25-yard line. So a return of about 5 yards for Eddie Miller, and now Lorain High starts off a little deeper than they did on their last possession.
And again, you could see Lorain High was trying to set up a punt return where they developed a wall, this time to their left. Admiral King did a nice job of coming through and stopping it. There was nowhere for him to run that time.
So first down and 10 for the Steelmen at their own 25. 2:05 to go here in the first quarter. It's a scoreless ball game. McGinty splits to the left, and Miller goes out wide to the right. Again, double wing formation with Bo Amons all alone behind Reardon. And now Nazario goes in motion to the right. Reardon hands off to Amons. Amons, big hole up the middle, out over the 30 to the 32-yard line, brought down by Steve Allen, but a pickup of about 7. Jim Uzinski is very high on Bo Amons. He thinks as a senior next year, this kid's going to be one of the top backs in the area.
I've heard and read some of the things that he said about his running back, and again, you hope you have a good fullback that can take some of the heat off your quarterback. I think that's what they lacked last year. Now having the ability to run the ball as well as pass is certainly going to help their offense.
Second down and 4. Godman comes in motion to the left out of the wing, and Reardon throws it out to him. It's complete to the 30, to the 35, breaks a tackle, knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Took a hit along the sideline from Greg Lusain, but again, it's another Steelman first down. Offensively, they've moved the ball very well.
And that must be at least the 4th time that he's caught that same ball. All it is motion. They hit the motion back, and he does what he can do naturally after that, and that is run with the football.
Coach, as a defensive coordinator, what does Admiral King have to do to adjust to that quick pass?
Well, they're going to have to make a secondary adjustment and, have somebody come with that motion man, I believe, to be able to pick him up right away as soon as the ball's thrown. He's getting the ball and getting too much time to run with it.
Nazario in motion to the right, and there's the pass to Nazario to the 40, to the 45 before being dragged down from behind. But again, the same basic play they've run throughout the first quarter. Put the wingman in motion and just toss it out to him and let him run.
Right, it's a very high percentage pass. It's not difficult to throw at all. It's just a matter of one-on-one, and you feel as a coach you've got a good receiver out there. He's going to gain yards one-on-one.
Less than a minute to go here in the first quarter of play. The Steelmen on the move again. Second down and 4 as they picked up 6 on that reception. No score in the ball game. And again, a beautiful day for football here at George Daniel Field. Akasi hands off to Bo Amons. Amons gets out to the midfield stripe, and that'll be enough for the first down. So again, the Steelmen with field position.
Simple fullback belly play, and Amons made a nice cutback that time. It was questionable whether he was going to make a first down, but with a cutback, he was able to pick up the first down for Lorain.
And at that particular point, it's instinct running. You can't teach that.
That's for sure.
First down and 10 for Lorain High. Ball resting right at the midfield stripe. And this will be the final play of the first quarter unless we get an incomplete pass. Reardon sends Godman in motion to the left. And Reardon gets the heat. He fumbles the football. It's loose. Who's got it at the 44-yard line?
Lorain came up with it.
The Steelmen recovered the fumble, but Greg Lusain, the linebacker, came on the blitz and caught Reardon.
And we're familiar with Lusain from last year when we played Admiral King. He's a very quick linebacker, and he's very adept at moving side to side, and he did an excellent job coming through, almost causing a turnover that time.
And that was the final play of the first quarter. No score after one. Lorain High facing a second down and 16 at their own 44 when we come back right after this. And the Lorain High Steelmen are scoreless. Jeff, for Admiral King, they simply didn't have any field position in the first quarter, and Lorain High has moved the ball very well.
Lorain High sure has. They look very effective in throwing the ball. I don't know what their percentage passing is right now, but they've had very few incompletions. They've been throwing the ball well. Reardon is an experienced quarterback and has done a fine job, and Amons has been effective in mixing it up.
It's been a nice balance.
Yes, it has.
They were sacked on the last play of the first quarter, though, so it's second down and 16. They're at their own 44-yard line. Nazario comes in motion to the right as the Steelmen now go left to right. Reardon under pressure, and he's sacked again inside the 40 at the 37-yard line. Steve Hicks in on the play. So now the Admirals are starting to break through.
On a second and long situation, they did come through that time, and I think one of the reasons why is because of the fact that Lorain High went with long motion that time, tried to develop a longer pass because they needed more yardage, and Admiral King was able to get there before he was able to throw the ball.
We also want to remind our listeners that sometime during the course of this ball game, we're going to give away a pair of Cleveland Browns tickets, and that will come your way courtesy of Tavern on the Mall on Midway Boulevard in Elyria. But right now it's a 3rd and 22. Lorain High going backwards at their own 37-yard line. Godman goes in motion to the left, and we've got a flag flying, and the Steelmen simply took too much time. So their second penalty for 15 yards. And now it'll be 3rd and 32.
I don't know if there was an audible involved in that, but I know at the beginning of the play we had Lorain, the Admiral King linebacker, right up in the center guard gap ready to blitz. And I think Reardon held off a little bit just to possibly check off, and that could have had something to do with the fact that we had a delay of game.
The Admirals maybe going to the blitz to put some more heat on Reardon so he doesn't have so much time.
Sure, that time they faked the blitz. He came up, stayed there, and then moved back, and then we had the delay of game penalty.
So now it's 3rd down, and the ball is at the 32-yard line. Reardon puts Godman in motion to the left. Long signal count. And he simply gives it to Amons, and that doesn't go anywhere. He's dropped it to 31. He actually lost one on that play. Kurt Pavlich in on the hit. Also coming up to make the stop was Steve Allen.
I don't think that fooled anyone, you know, that time. They were in 3rd and very long, and they had been sacked previously. I don't think they wanted to go back any further. They weren't going to risk a pass, so they tried to get the fullback free, and Admiral King was ready.
So Sean Reardon will now kick it away for Lorain High. 10:25 to go in the second quarter. Scoreless ball game so far. Good snap. Reardon gets it away. High end over end kick, and it bounces at the 40-yard line and fielded at the 30, looking for room left sideline. Out to the 40 is Lorain to the 45, and he slips down at the 47-yard line, or he may have had more room to operate.
He made the correct decision. You know, as a football coach, you hate to see those punt returners not catch the ball because it bounces a lot further and you could have had better field position. So he took a chance with it, and he did break it up the sideline, and as you said, if he hadn't slipped, he may have gained a lot more yardage.
So the Admirals now with decent field position. 1st down and 10. They're at their own 46-yard line. No score. I formation behind Mike Akesy. Akesy hands off to Lorain. Lorain to the 50, to the 45, down to the 42-yard line of Lorain High. Big gain for Greg Lorain. They will alternate he and Riggins at that tailback spot. And it's nice when you got 2 players you can bring in there like that.
That's right, and it was a good call. They crossed up Lorain that time because they've been running power football. That time it looked like the power play, but the tailback came back on a counter to the split end side, and they did a nice job of blocking for him.
Joe Nelson comes in with the play. He splits to the left, which is the short side of the field. Mike Hutz is wide to the right. I formation. Akesy back to pass. Plenty of time. Hanging it up deep down the sideline. He's got Nelson. Touchdown! And he dropped it. He dropped the football. He was open, it was there, and he simply dropped the football.
It's a beautiful pass. I mean, the defensive back really wasn't beaten that badly. He was about a yard behind him, but that's all you need, and the ball was right there on the money, went right through his hands.
Called it a little too prematurely there because it looked as though he was in for 6.
It sure did.
Instead, it's 2nd down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Dax Comer now in the game splits to the left, and they throw it out to Comer to the 40, cuts back to the middle, and gets down to the 37-yard line. Pickup of about 5. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Just a quick out to the split end that time, and it's a very safe play, and it picked up about 6 yards, 5 yards for him on 2nd down.
Well, Tom Ilsisko said in the pregame show he was going to open it up a little bit and throw the football, and he's definitely done so here. 2 consecutive plays. 3rd down and 5 from the 37. Akesy, fake draw, keeps it himself on the bootleg to the 40, tripped up at the 38-yard line. Nice defensive play from Lorain High's Josh Jenkins.
Sure was. It was a nice play. I thought it was a good play call by Admiral King, getting their quarterback on a keeper. And then Lorain only had the 1 player out there, and he came up and made just an outstanding defensive play.
Josh Jenkins dropped him right to the 38-yard line. Can't ask for more from a one-on-one tackle.
No, not at all. The stress was all there. It was a lot of open field if he had missed that tackle.
We've got a Steelman down on the field. 8:40 to go here in the second quarter of play. Scoreless ball game, but it's been an exciting ball game. Both teams have been able to move the football. Admiral King, especially on this drive, and 2 plays ago, they had a sure touchdown, but Nelson couldn't hold on to the football. We also want to remind our listeners At some time during the course of this game, we're also going to give away a pair of tickets to our 1320 Sports Brunch, which is held every Sunday morning up at McGarvey's on Liberty Avenue in Vermilion. We'll do that sometime later on during the course of the game. Jeff Risen will join me there on October 15th. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I am too. From what I've heard, it'd be a very enjoyable experience and a chance to talk about football in our county.
And lots of food.
Well, we enjoy that, that's for sure.
And again, we want to remind our listeners that that show comes your way every Sunday from 11 to 1 o'clock on 1320 WOBL. Tomorrow, my guest will be Ralph Mayer, the head coach of the Vermilion Sailors. I'm sure he'll have some interesting things to say after that ball game last night against your club.
It was a great football game, and we were fortunate to be able to come back in the fourth quarter to win the game. It was
an excellent football game, one of the more exciting we've had this year. Steelman players still down on the field, so we'll take a quick break. 8:40 to go, second quarter, no score, and Admiral King at the Lorain High 37-yard line. We'll be back right after this. Back here at George Daniel Field, 4th down and 5, and the Admirals are going to go for it. Akesy puts Hudson in motion to the left. Akesy back to pass. Quick hitter over the middle, complete, and down to the 27-yard line. Put it right on the numbers to Brian Lopez. And Lopez made a nice shoestring catch there.
It was just a look-in type slant play that those that are fans of the Browns have seen Brian Brennan and a lot of their players be able to do, and he came in on a slant and the ball was thrown right there. Nice pass by Akesy.
1st down and 10. Ball at the 28-yard line. And they went for it on the 4th and 5, and it paid off. Pitch back goes to Lusain. Lusain looking for room left tackle and dropped at the 26-yard line. He may have gotten 1 or 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Just a power sweep by Admiral King, which is something that's been their trademark over the years, and Lorain High School was able to come up and stop him.
Tailback-oriented football, nothing fancy.
That's for sure. That's for sure. When you have two tailbacks, with Riggins and Lusain, you're going to run those kind of backs.
2nd down and 9 as Lusain picked up 1, wing to the left, and they give it to the fullback Pavlich. Pavlich inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Hard running. He was stacked up at the 25, broke off, and picked up an extra 2 or 3. Play right there just designed to keep the defense honest.
That's right, and it was excellent second effort by Pavlich because he initially appeared to be stopped for no gain, and he came up with about 3 or 4 yards on that play.
Sets up a 3rd down and 4. Ball at the 22-yard line. Brian Lopez splits to the right. Hutz is in the wing to the left. I formation behind Akesy. Saunders, the tight end, to the left. Pitch back goes to Lusain. Lusain looking for a block. Gets inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. He may be about a yard shy of the 1st. It'll depend on the mark. Jeff, I don't think he got it.
No, he looks like he's short, and they appeared to go away from their strength. They were in a wing to the left and ran the power sweep to the right to the weak side of the formation and just came up about a foot, maybe a half yard short of a 1st down.
Ball now at the right hash mark. 4th down and 1 for the Admirals. They're at the Lorain High 19-yard line. Dax Comer brings the play in, and he splits to the left. And now we've got a power I formation. Lusain deep in the I. Handoff goes to Lusain. Lusain over right tackle picks up the 1st down to the 16-yard line. And again, you see them run right behind Brian DeMarco.
Right.
When you got a 6'6", 280-pound tackle, you utilize them.
That's right. And they put, along with him, they put a power I back right next to him, and then they just went right over those two, and that's smart football on their part.
They'll actually mark him down at the 17, but it's still more than enough for the 1st down. So the Admirals now on the move. 6:20 to go, 1st half. Scoreless ball game. But the Admirals are knocking on the door. 1st down and 10 at the Lorain High 16. Lusain deep in the I. Hutz in the wing to the right, now comes in motion to the left. Akesy hands off to Lusain. Right over left guard to the 10 to the 5, inside the 5 to the 3-yard line. Hard running from Greg Lusain. And he got that slice of daylight that good backs needed and took advantage of it.
That's all he needed was a little bit of a crease. They gave him that, and he almost scored on it. Went all the way down to the 5 on just an isolation play to the left.
They'll mark his knee down just inside the 5, so we'll call it the 4-yard line. Checking in with the play is Brian Lopez. Hutz lines up in a power I formation. Pavlich, the fullback, and Lusain deep in the I. Lopez splits to the left. Akesy hands off to Lorain, right over right tackle, pulls his way down and in for the touchdown. So Greg Lorain goes over from 4 yards out. 5:42 to go first half, and the Admirals take the lead 6-0. And that was traditional Admiral King football right there.
Sure was, and it was the same play that they used on the 3rd and short, and that was a power I formation to the right and just ran behind the right side of their line. So you have to credit the right side of Admiral King's line for that touchdown.
And you also have to credit the Admirals for keeping that drive alive after Nelson dropped the touchdown pass, because it would have been easy to fold up the tents and be frustrated, but they just stuck to their guns.
Yes, that's true. A lot of times you see a little bit of letdown after a play like that.
Zykuda adds the extra point. The Admirals lead 7-0, 5:42 to go second quarter, and we'll be back right after this. Zykuda kicks it off for the Admirals. They now lead 7-0. Miller picks it up at the 10, out to the 15, to the 20. He's got a hole up the middle. There he goes. He's to the 40, breaks outside, and he's gone. 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Eddie Miller, 90 yards, and the Steelmen are on the board at 7-6.
How many times do you see that, though? I've seen it so many times when he fumbled the ball. He didn't make a clean catch. He fumbled the ball, and sometimes that breaks up the wave coming down, and they get out of their lanes, and he did a great job taking advantage and going right for the touchdown.
Eddie Miller, a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and the Steelmen answer right back. 5:30 to go second quarter. It's a 7-6 ball game, and Andy Tiemann will attempt the extra point. It's one of the most exciting plays in football.
Oh, it sure is. You know, just amazing how that happens, though. I've seen it so many times when you have a mishandled kickoff or a punt, and they turn it into a big play.
And the extra point attempt is good from Andy Tiemann. We're tied at 7. 5:30 to go first half. We'll be back right after this. One more. 11, he picks it up. The Steelmen have answered back in 12 seconds. 5:30 to go second quarter, and we are tied at 7. Eddie Miller, officially an 89-yard touchdown return. Just a gorgeous play. As Jeff Risen mentioned, he dropped the football, and actually at that particular point you can see the Admiral King defenders let up just a hair, and that gave him the room he needed.
That's exactly right. Now it'll be interesting to see how this game of football with so much momentum a part of it. We'll see how the Admiral King Admirals react to it.
So Tiemann will now kick it off from the 40. High end over end short kick, and Riggins takes it at the 11-yard line. Well, now it's Lorain. Lorain out over the 20 to the 24-yard line. Riggins and Lorain both looked at one another. And finally, Lorain took it out to the 24. First down and 10 for the Admirals. 5:25 to go second quarter, and we're tied at 7. They put together an excellent ball control drive on their last possession. Let's see what they can do here.
I think it's important for Admiral King to get a first down now, because right now with momentum being switched back to Lorain, they need to dig down and get a first down here.
Hutz splits to the left. Dax Comer is to the right. I formation behind Akesy. He gives it to Pavlich, and Pavlich is dropped right at the 25-yard line. Jamie Godman in on the hit. Also Jim Miller.
Just the base fullback play right up the middle, and they made a great defensive play to stop him.
And when Jamie Godman, your free safety, is up making the tackle at the line of scrimmage, that's an indication that the secondary is starting to cheat up a little bit.
Right, and it's showing that Coach Uzinski wants to stop him right here and get the ball back. He's willing to gamble.
Second down and 9 at the 25-yard line. Again, an I formation. Pitch back goes to Allen. Allen gets outside, and he's dropped at the 24-yard line. Again, Jim Miller in on the stop.
That was their power sweep, and it was very slow in developing, and they weren't able to get outside that time.
So Tom El Cisco brings in a third tailback, Steve Allen. We've seen Riggins, we've seen Lorain, and now Steve Allen in the ball game. Lopez comes out. Joe Nelson checks in. It'll be third down and 10 from the 24-yard line. 4 minutes to go in the first half, and we're tied at 7.
They've had success throwing this slant or to the split end, and it looks like the same play that they got the first end is developing. It's identical right now.
Akesy back to pass, throws it down the field. Diving catch at the 44-yard line. Mike Hutz. Beautiful catch. Outstretched his body and hauled it in, and that's a first down for the Admirals.
The other time when Admiral King was going for their first touchdown, they threw the man who was the split end. He did a hook and they hit him. This time the motion man coming across did an out and up, and I'm sure one of the Lorain defenders had a blown assignment because he was wide open. In fact, if he could have kept his feet, he might have gone all the way.
Yes, he could have. I think Akesy threw it a hair over the wrong shoulder, though, because Hutz had to turn and outstretch.
That's right, and he lost his balance.
We've got an official timeout on the field. We'll keep it right here. 3:47 to go in the first half, and we are tied at 7. And I want to make a little bit of a correction here on our television broadcast. We're on Adelphia Cable and Lorain City School Channel TV36. We certainly hope you're enjoying the ball game this afternoon. It's been an exciting one, to say the least.
Yes, and I think Admiral King just had a very crucial play in this game, and that was being able to pick up the initial first down after the kickoff return for a touchdown by Lorain. Now I'm sure they have some of their confidence back, and with the time we have left, about 4 minutes, almost 4 minutes, they can put together a drive.
The Admirals break the huddle. Again, they go right to left on your radio dial here in quarter number 2. Allen still the tailback, deep in the eye. Play action pass. Akesy back to pass. Sets. Throws. Incomplete. Looking for Saunders at the 49-yard line. That ball sailed a little bit on him.
It did, and it looked like Admiral King had 2 receivers in the same area. You like to have your receivers spread out so that your quarterback has more of an opportunity to choose between them, but they had 2 within 5 yards, and 1 defender was able to be there, but I still think the ball was catchable. It went through his hands.
Second down and 10 at the 43-yard line. Joe Nelson checks in with the play. I'm sure at some point Tom Milcisco is going to come back with that fly pattern to Joe Nelson.
Admiral King likes to throw the deep ball to keep you honest.
Akesy, misdirection play goes to Allen. Allen looks to get outside, dropped by Jim Miller at the 44-yard line. Again, excellent defensive play from the defensive end for the Steelmen.
Yes, it was. It was a counter play, and it's a good play for Admiral King's offense because they do have a tendency to run strong to their power, so it's a natural outlet off of their offense to come back with a counter there.
Jeff, both coaches, Tom Milcisco of Admiral King and Jim Uzinski of Lorain, mentioned that the Steelman defense, despite their 1-4 record so far, has been excellent through the first half of the season.
And I think a lot of that credit has to go to Terry King, their defensive coordinator, and I know he's familiar with his defense because he was a player at Lorain High going back to Doug Thompson when he was the head coach at Lorain High School, and that's what Lorain High ran at that time. So I think Coach King is drawing a little bit on his experience when he played at Lorain High School.
Coach, how tough is it? By the way, we've got a timeout on the field. The Admirals have taken a timeout. How tough is it when different years you bring in different coaches to run your defense or your offense, and your players suddenly have to change their philosophy?
Well, it's not as tough as you might think. As far if you do it during the season, it's certainly very difficult because then it's almost like you've lost confidence in what you have started out the season with. But I think they made this commitment during double sessions and their August practices to go to a different defense, and he put Coach Terry King in charge of it, and I think that says something for the confidence he has in him.
It's certainly a good point when you say that if players are receptive to it, it makes the job much easier, such as your case with Don Richardson.
That's true.
Third down and 10 for the Admirals at their own 43-yard line. Hudson motion to the right, Akesy back to pass. Plenty of time, throws it over the middle, complete to the 50, down to the 48-yard line. He put it on the numbers to Brian Lopez, but Lopez will be about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first.
It was a well-designed pass play. The motion man went across the field, was going to run an out-and-up type of pattern, and he came back underneath, and the pass was there, thrown very well, just a few yards short.
John Baerback made the tackle for Lorain High. So it's 4th and 2 for the Admirals, and they'll kick it away. But again, they should be able to pin Lorain High deep in their own territory. Good snap. And kick is high and end over end, taken at the 15-yard line by Nazario. Nazario looking for room left, doesn't have any, cuts it right back up the middle and dropped at the 19-yard line. So good coverage from Admiral King. Lorain High at their own 19, 2:15 to go in the second quarter of play, and we are knotted at 7 as Greg Lusain went over from 4 yards out with 5:42 left in the second quarter to give Admiral King an early 7-0 lead. But Miller, Eddie Miller, answered right back with an 89-yard return of the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown, and we're tied at 7. See what Jim Uzinski comes up with here. First down and 10. And he puts Eddie Miller in motion to the right. Reardon hands off to Amons. Amons out to the 21-yard line, pickup of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Maybe Jim Uzinski might get a little conservative here, not wanting the turnover deep in his own territory.
I think that's true at this point. Going in at halftime 7-7 rather than risking throwing a ball and having it intercepted and picked off right before the half. I know we've known each other for a long time, and I know that's one thing that he considers a cardinal sin, is to give the other team a chance to get back in right before the half and throwing a risky pass.
2nd down and 8. Ball to 21-yard line. Jim Miller is wide to the right. Nazario comes in motion to the right. Reardon keeps it himself and dropped at the 21-yard line. Nice defensive play made by Steve Allen.
That was right. I think Lusain had a part of it too, and he was the one in the ankles right there, and that's what he does best. He just flows laterally so well. I remember that last year, Tony Godbold, our tailback, would want to run a sweep, and he would track him down all the way from the backside linebacking spot. So we know he's a very good one.
That's basically the responsibility of the linebacker, is to read and pursue.
Exactly, and he, with his quickness, he's in an excellent position to do that.
So now it's 3rd down and 8. Reardon stopped for no gain on the play. Ball at the 21-yard line. We're down to 35 seconds to go in the first half. Reardon back to pass. Now rolling to the left. Here comes the heat. Throws it out, incomplete, and almost picked off. He's lucky that ball wasn't intercepted.
That's right, and I'm sure Jim Uzinski's sigh of relief right now, because that was exactly what he doesn't like to do.
So now with 30 seconds to go in the second quarter, Lorain High will have to kick it away. And the incomplete pass, of course, stops the clock. 4th down and 8 at their own 21-yard line. And Reardon will stand just inside his own 10.
It looks like they're going to try to set up a return here and maybe get Sakuda in chance for a field goal.
End over end kick. Ball taken at the 48, bobbled, and luckily Admiral King just fell on the football. Riggins at his own 49-yard line.
Looks like they're going to take a timeout, or they want a timeout right now.
And they get it. 23 seconds to go in quarter number 2. And the Admirals spend another timeout. So you're right. They've got an excellent kicker in Rick Zykuda. I'm sure Tom Elsisco will look for one deep pass, get it down the middle, or look for the sideline and get Zykuda in there.
Yes, we had a chance to see Admiral King play St. Ed's on that postponed game, and we saw him kick a field goal that day, and he shows excellent range.
So the Admirals have it at their own 49-yard line. Probably have to get it down to about the 20 or the 25, which would make it a 40 to 45-yarder. And there's a good wind this afternoon, and right now it would be to his back. So I'm sure Tom Elsisco, thinking that, wants to get at least one opportunity to get the ball down there. Maybe we can look for Nelson again on that fly pattern.
Well, I think, you know, looking at the time, there's not a lot of time left. He might try to pass it twice rather than, you know, get all 25 yards in one pass play. Try to get 2. He might be calling 2 plays in the huddle right now with that in mind, so they can get 2 quick plays off, and then if they have any timeouts, I'm not sure how many they have left, but if they do, save it for that field goal attempt.
And of course, Tom Elsisco is up here in the booth this year. Something that's very interesting. I formation behind Akesi. Dax Comer is wide to the left. Akesi back to pass. Plenty of time. Here comes the heat. Now he rolls to the right, and he may take off with the football, and he's dropped at the 49-yard line. So no gain on the play. Nazario came up to make the tackle for Lorain High, and now the Admirals take their last time out with 13 seconds to go. Play. I don't know if they can get him out there in time. We'll see what Tom Elsisco comes up with here. Akesi, play action. Sets up, throws it deep down the middle, and the ball is caught, and it's a touchdown! Oh my, with 5 seconds to go, Lopez got behind the defensive back.
Just unbelievable. You know, I know the coaches told them during that timeout, if they're going to catch anything, make sure they catch it in front of you. You know, everybody knew what was coming, and he still was able to complete it for the touchdown.
A 51-yard touchdown pass from Sean Reardon, from Mike Akesi to Brian Lopez, and the Admirals take the lead 13-7. Cardinal sin, you can't let them get behind you.
No, don't get beat deep. I know I've coached the secondary and the defensive backs, and that gives you gray hairs in a hurry.
Saikuda to attempt the extra point. It is up, and it is good. The Admirals lead 14-7.
Penalty on the play.
Let's see what the call is.
Looks like it's on Lorain.
It will be on Lorain, so the Admirals will kick it off. 5 seconds to go, second quarter. We'll be back right after this.
So there's no need to panic on Lorain High's side, but what you worry about as a head coach more is what their attitude going in at halftime is like, because it's certainly going to pump up Admiral King, and you hope that as a coach at Lorain High that your kids are going to come back from this.
And that penalty against Lorain High on the extra point was a major infraction, a 15-yarder, so Admiral King will kick it off from the Lorain High 45-yard line. And Miller gets the kickoff in the end zone, elects to bring it out, and he's hit and dropped at the 9-yard line. And that ends the first half of play. We've completed 2 quarters, and Admiral King on a 51-yard touchdown pass at the very end of the first half leads Lorain High 14-7 here at George Daniel Field in Lorain. We'll be back with halftime activities right after this. The Steelmen from Lorain High will kick it off to start the third quarter of play. The Admirals will get the ball, and they lead 14-7. Admiral King will go right to left on your radio dial here in quarter three. Teaming to kick it off. Ball teed up at the 40-yard line, and Andy puts his leg into it, and it's a good kick. Riggins takes it at the 6-yard line, out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, looking for room up the middle, hit at the 25, and dropped right there at the 26-yard line. So Admiral King, 1st and 10 at their own 26 with a 14-7 lead. And I'm sure we'll see right now the same thing Tom Cisco did in the first half, the nice balance between the run and the pass.
I think their goal is just to continue what they did at the end of the first half, and that's to blend some passing with their running and try to get some momentum, to continue that momentum that took them to the lead in the first half.
Mike Akesy, the senior quarterback, under center Jeff Freeman, Kurt Pavlich, and Greg Lusain and Henry Riggins will see action at tailback. Lusain in there now. He gets the pitch out over the 30 to the 40 to the 45, dragged down at the 47-yard line.
One player away from a touchdown on the opening play of the half. Just the power sweep, and he was able to break it for a big gain.
I think right there you just see the momentum that touchdown before the half carried right over to the opening play of the third quarter.
If you're Admiral King, you want to continue it. If you're Lorain High School, you've got to find a way to, to stop that momentum.
First down and 10 for the Admirals at their own 46-yard line. Brian Lopez splits to the left. Ball is at the right hash mark. Pitch back goes to Lusain, short side of the field, looking for room, gets to the 50, to the 45, breaks a tackle to the 40, inside the 40 of Lorain High to the 37-yard line.
Excellent running again. He looked like he was down for a good gain. It looked like about 5 or 6, and then he broke free again and almost broke it for a touchdown.
Reminded me of Godbolt's 55-yard touchdown run last night.
Right.
Where it appeared as though he was dead in his track.
Right.
Instead, Admiral King with a first down and 10 at the Lorain High 37-yard line. So the Admirals come out and move the ball quickly down the field. They lead 14-7, 11:07 to go in the third quarter. Wing to the left. I formation behind Mike Akesy. Pitch back goes to Lusain. Lusain looking for room over left tackle to the 30, inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Pick up of about 9.
First three plays of the half, they've done the same thing. Twice to the right, power sweep. This time to the wide side of the field, running to their left. And they certainly have the momentum right now, and they believe they can just dominate the line of scrimmage, what they've been doing.
Second down and 1. The ball is at the 28-yard line of Lorain High. And again, this is traditional Admiral King football right here.
Right.
Akesy, long signal snap, pitch back, goes to Lusain, right side, gets a hold, and dropped at the 26-yard line, fumbles the football, and the Steelmen have it.
Big play. And that's what Lorain High needed at this point, because it certainly looked like Admiral King was marching to a score, or points, that's for sure, at this early point in the second half.
Instead, Lorain High gets the turnover, the first today against Admiral King. And now the Steelmen take over at their 24-yard line, first down and 10. So we'll see what Sean Reardon can do. He splits Jim Miller to the right. Bo Amons is all alone behind him. And now Nazario comes in motion to the right. Pitch back goes to Amons. Amons looking for room right side, out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Pickup of about 2. It'll be second down and 8. Steve Allen in on the tackle for Admiral King.
And again, you saw Lusain come across. That's what he is best at. It was a pitch sweep, and he came from the backside linebacker. Didn't make the tackle, but he forced Amons to make a cut.
McGinty splits to the left. Chris has yet to catch a ball this afternoon, and he's the leading receiver for the Steelmen. Godman goes in motion to the left. Reardon rolls to the left, still rolling, sets, throws, and he threw it into coverage, and it's complete. Did McGinty get it? Yes, he did.
Looks like it is.
McGinty was double covered. That's probably why he hasn't caught one all day.
That's right. The ball was just thrown at the perfect spot. It was a low throw, but that was about the only place it could go in order to be complete, because he was well covered.
So they pick up about 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 1 at about the 33-yard line. Jim Miller wide to the right. Again, Bo Amons all alone behind Sean Reardon. Nazario in motion to the right. Handoff goes to Amons. Amons to the 35, dropped at the 39-yard line, but he got the first down. Scott Wolf put the lick on him.
And that was a play that I'm sure Admiral King was expecting. On 3rd and 1 in the run and shoot, you have one back, and the fullback is that man, so you had to key him, but he was still able to get a crease there and get the first down.
First down and 10 for Lorain at their own 39-yard line. 8:45 to go, third quarter. The Admirals with a 14-7 lead, all the scoring in the second quarter of play. Jim Miller splits to the right. McGinty is to the left. Godman goes in motion to the left. Reardon hands off to Amons. Amons dropped at the 40. And he struggled ahead, but again, defensive play was right there.
It looked slow in developing because the Admiral King defender was right there to come in and make the tackle. It looked like the ball should have been handed off prior to that time.
The Lorain High offensive line, Kevin Phillips is their center. He's a senior. Left tackle is Fred Haynes, a sophomore. Left guard, Josh Hall. Right guard is Nick Casano, and the right tackle, Mike Toothman. Second down and 9, pickup of 1 for Bo Amons. Ball just about in the middle of the field. Now Nazario comes in motion to the right. Reardon lobs it out and incomplete. It almost appeared as though that ball slipped out of his hand.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who he was going to because there were two receivers, but it did go right in the hands of Godman, I believe, and he could have caught the ball.
Instead, it'll be third down and 9. 7:56 to go, third quarter. And the Steelmen facing their second straight third down on this possession. McGinty to the left, Miller to the right. Again, double wing formation. And now Nazario comes in motion to the right. Reardon rolls to the left, looks, lobs it out, and he's got McGinty, and it's incomplete at the 42-yard line. He had him open, he led him just a little bit too far.
That's right. He was wide open, though. It just needed a little bit better touch on it because he certainly had first down yardage and more.
So now Sean Reardon will kick it away, and Henry Riggins and Greg Lusain will drop back deep for Admiral King. The Admirals with a 1-touchdown lead, 14-7. And the Steelmen were able to pick up a couple of first downs on that possession. But now the drive stalls at their own 40. Reardon standing at his own 25-yard line. Good snap. Kick is away, and it's almost blocked, but a high end-over-end kick. And it takes an Admiral King bounce. Now it takes a crazy bounce, goes inside the 25-yard line to the 23 where it's down. That's why you preach to those players, stay away from that football once it hits the ground because you never know where it's going to bounce.
That's right, and how many times I know everybody sees it happen where one of the offensive players gets too close, it rolls off his ankle, and there's a big play in the game.
It's a live football once it touches. First down and 10 at the 23-yard line. So we'll see what the Admirals come up with here. Ball at the right hash mark, and had to get a football off the field. You can see the senior quarterback. Kurt Pavlich is the fullback. Lusain, Henry Riggins, and Steve Allen have all seen action at tailback today for Admiral King. Right now, it's Lusain in there. Dax Comer splits to the left, wing to the right. Fake pitch, quick hitter up the middle, goes to Hutz. Hutz out to the 25-yard line. So they put him in the wing to the right, fake the pitch to Lusain, and then hit him with a misdirection coming the other way. Which
is a good call because the series previously, Admiral King gained all their yardage on the sweep out of the very same formation. As you mentioned, they faked the sweep this time. It's an inside trap to the wingback coming back, but Lorain was right there to make the play. He only gained about a yard.
Second down and 8 from the 25-yard line. Again, the eye. Brian Lopez split to the left, wing to the right again. Agassi back to pass, quick hitter over the middle, complete to Lopez, out to the 39-yard line before he's dropped by Nazario, but that's a first down. And Jeff, I would think that's a pass that'll be there all afternoon.
It certainly is, and Lorain High is giving way too much cushion on that play. They're just backed off, and he's wide open coming across, and it makes it an easy throw and catch.
So it's a first down for Admiral King at their own 39-yard line. 6:39 to go, third quarter. And the Admirals looking to build on a 14-7 lead. Again, I formation behind Agassi. Pitch back goes to Lusain, looking for room right side to the 40, to the 45, cuts back against the grain to the 50, to the 45 of Lorain High. Good, strong running from Greg Lusain. He just kept the legs churning.
That, and again, they were ready to gamble. They brought Godman, the safety, up that time. I watched him, and he was ready to blitz. It's one of those things. Sometimes you win on the gamble, but if you lose, it could be 6 points, and that was close to it right there.
The old adage, you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz.
That's right. That's right.
First down and 10 for the Admirals. They're at the Lorain High 44-yard line. 6:05 to go, third quarter. Again, ball is at the right hash mark. Hutz in the wing right, now comes in motion to the left. They give it to Pavlich on the quick hitter to the 40, stumbles his way down to the 35-yard line, pickup of 9. So now you've really got the Lorain High defense thinking.
That's for sure, because they've been able to use all the things in their offense, and that is the tailback effectively with a sweep. They've thrown the ball, and now the fullback just ran for 10, so who do you key in this situation?
2nd down and 1. Ball just at the 35-yard line. They have to get to the 34. Admiral King has moved the ball extremely well on the ground here in the 3rd quarter. The holes are really there.
It's going to be a time for Lorain to make a big defensive stand.
They got the fumble on the last possession, if you recall. Quick hitter goes to Pavlich, and he's dropped right at the 36-yard line.
And almost a turnover. They were in that quickly.
They were literally on top of Pavlich by the time he got the football. Actually lost one on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2 as Joe Nelson checks in for the Admirals. Lopez comes out.
Wouldn't be surprised to see again the sweep that's been so effective this 2nd half.
Fullback lead and just pitch it back. Right. Nelson splits to the left. Again, Hutz is in the wing to the right. That's the short side of the field. I formation behind Akesy. Akesy pitches it to Lassane, looking for room right side, gets to the 35, breaks a tackle, 35, 20, he's gone! 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Greg Lassane, you heard Jeff Risen say it throughout the 1st half, all he needs is a crease, and he got it right there, and again, right side behind Brian DeMarco in the short side of the field.
Right, and that's what they've started the 2nd half with, was that power sweep. 3rd and short, it was something that I was looking for, and there it was for the touchdown.
Lassane, a 36-yard touchdown run, 4:37 to go 3rd quarter, and it's now a 20-7 Admiral King lead. Zaikuta will attempt the extra point. Well, you're right, Jeff. That play has been there throughout the 3rd quarter. Now the Admirals have to run a player on to attempt the extra point.
Be a legal procedure there.
The kick was good, but it won't matter. The Admirals were 1 player short. He came racing onto the field but never got set. I don't think Zaikuta and the holder realized he was coming on.
No.
Got illegal motion against Admiral King, so they'll try it again.
And that bothers you as a head coach because they made it without him. With just 10 people, and he was coming onto the field.
4:37 to go 3rd quarter. And again, Jeff, that's a situation. The first drive was thwarted because of the fumble, but still, the momentum from that touchdown catch right before the half has just carried right over into the 3rd quarter.
Such a big play, as I mentioned at halftime, that's what I would have been the most concerned about, and I think Admiral King has played the way you would expect after that.
So Zaikuta pushed back 5 yards. He'll attempt the extra point again, and again the kick. Oh, no good.
Must have gone off to the side.
Looked good from here, but he shanked it a little bit to the left, so the penalty hurts the Admirals. 20-7, 4:37 to go 3rd quarter. We'll be back right after.
Zaikuta kicks it off to the Steelman. Low line drive.
Back here at George Daniel Field, Miller picks up the kick at the 8-yard line, looking for room up the middle to the 25, out over the 25 to the 30, breaks outside to the 35 to the 40 to the 45, dragged down at the 47-yard line. We see it again, that bobbling kick. And once he picked it up, he had some room.
And he is an exciting football player. The way he's been able to score 1 touchdown, and you know, he was bounced around there and still brought the ball out to the 46-yard line. This may be what Lorain High needs to get them back in the game, because field position being key, they're at the 46-yard line right now.
Admiral King leading 20-7. And we'll see what the Steelmen can answer with. They've got excellent field position, 1st down and 10 at their own 46-yard line. Nazario in motion to the right. Reardon rolls to the left, sets, lobs it out, incomplete. Looking for McGinty at the 37-yard line, just off his fingertips. Jamie Saunders in on the coverage.
That looked to be the same play that they tried earlier in the ball game, you know, their last series, and it wasn't thrown well. This time I thought the ball was thrown in the right spot. It would have been a tough catch, but it went off his hands, and I know as a coach you always tell him if you can touch it, you should catch it.
Pepper's been here forever.
That's right. He was here when my father was here in I'd say 67. He was here assisting my dad, so he has been here a long time.
He bleeds Admiral Blue. 2nd down and 10. Reardon under center. Bo Amons, the lone setback behind him. Now Nazario comes in motion to the right. Reardon, quick hitter over the middle, incomplete. And there was
intercepted.
Not 2, but 3 Steelman players all in the same area. And Koski almost picked that ball off for Admiral King.
He's right in the right spot. That was a dangerous throw.
So now it'll be 3rd down and 10. Lorain High at their own 46-yard line. and they have to get something going quickly.
They do, just for the confidence of their kids, they do.
4:01 to go, third quarter. Reardon sends Godman in motion to the left. Reardon now rolls to the left. Sets, throws deep. He's got McGinty caught, and he's going to go for the touchdown. 15-10-5 touchdown.
It's unbelievable because McGinney had turned the wrong way, was able to readjust, turn back, and make the catch. That shows the kind of receiver he is.
The mark of an excellent receiver. A 54-yard touchdown pass. And again, as Jeff Risen said, the ball was actually thrown over the wrong shoulder. He turned, spun, and still was able to catch it and bring it in and go down the sideline for the touchdown. And the Steelmen have answered right back. And just as we said, that's what they needed.
They sure did. And there's lots of time left in this football game with about 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Boy, we've seen some offense this afternoon. Tiemann will attempt the extra point. Godman the holder. Kick is up, and it is good. 20-14, the Steelmen draw to within 6. 3:52 left in the third. We'll be back right after this. So the Steelmen draw to within 6. It's 20-14, and Tiemann kicks it off, and he drives Riggins all the way through the end zone, and the ball rolls out of the end zone. So the Admirals will have it at their own 20. That Tiemann's a big league kicker.
Well, that certainly was an excellent kick. It was a little bit wind-aided because the wind is blowing that direction, but still for a high school kicker to be able to kick it into the end zone like that speaks highly of him.
So the Admirals take over, first down and 10. They're at their own 20-yard line. And Admiral King with a 20-14 lead with 3:52 left in the third quarter. Lorain still the tailback. He's been in there the majority of the third quarter.
See if they try a sweep here.
Yep. Fake pitch. Akesy back to pass. Looks, throws, and tipped and dropped. At the 30-yard line, he was looking for the tight end. But again, the play was there.
Again, there was almost caught by the second receiver of Admiral King. There were two receivers within 5 yards of each other again. I don't know whether that's by design, but it almost worked to their advantage this time.
Brian Lopez checks in with the play.
Greg Lorain has carried the football 11 times for 132 yards. Second and 10 in.
Big day this afternoon for Lorain. He's deep in the eye. Second down and 10, and he gets the pitch looking for room. Just bowls over one blocker and gets out to about the 24-yard line. Pick up a 4. It'll be third down and 6. He literally ran over his own guy right there.
He did, and that's what Lorain is going to have to do. They're going to have to stop him before he gets started, because if they don't, he's going to be gone again. He is an excellent running back.
Third down and 6, so it's a big play here for the Steelman defense. Right now, they've got the momentum. As Coach Risen has been saying throughout the game, once you get that momentum, you want to keep it. And after the big touchdown pass from Reardon to McGinty, I'm sure Jim Uzinski wants to put the ball back in his offense's hand. Akesy back to pass, but before he does, we got flags flying. May have taken too much time. See what the call is here. Got encroachment against Admiral King, so that'll push them back 5 yards. Their second penalty for 10 yards today.
It looked like Akesy was looking for the slant again to Lopez that's been so effective here in the second half.
So it pushes the ball back inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. So it's now third down and 11 with 3:08 to go in the third quarter. Lopez splits to the left.
And this is the formation they were able to complete. They motioned toward him, and that's what they're doing now.
Putz comes in motion to the left, I formation, and we've got flags flying again. Akesy back to pass, sets up, looking deep, he's got Hutz, and it's incomplete at the 47-yard line. Akesy overthrew him by about a foot.
And they completed that pass in the first half, and Hudson had to make a great catch, and he fell down, or he could have gone for a touchdown again. He was wide open on an out and up, what we call the out and up pattern.
And Akesy just overthrew him.
I think it's procedure on Admiral King.
Yes, it is. So I'm sure Jim Uzinski will decline the penalty. Yes, he does. So it'll be fourth down and 11, and Admiral King will have to punt it away. And now that Steelman offense, which I'm sure is charged up after the big touchdown on their last series, will get the ball back.
It's an important time, too, because they do have the wind at their back, for Coach Uzinski and Lorain High to be throwing the football.
2:51 to go, third quarter. 20-14, the Admirals with the lead, but they'll kick it away. You can see at his own 5 gets the kick away. Wobbly end-over-end kick. Nazario will field it at his own 48-yard line, gets to the 50 to the 45 of Admiral King, down to the 43-yard line. Well, Jim Uzinski couldn't ask for better field position right here. He's in Admiral King territory to start the drive, first down and 10 at the Admiral 43-yard line.
And this is an important time, as I mentioned, because with the wind at his back, I've heard run-and-shoot coaches say before that rain didn't bother them. The thing that they hated the most in running a run-and-shoot offense is the wind. The wind affects them more.
And again, the wind is blowing left to right on your radio dial. And it's pretty stiff right now, so I'm sure Jim Uzinski will put it up right here with 2:24 to go. Godman in motion to the left. Reardon hands off to Amons. Amons bulls his way inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. The Admirals are saying they've got the football, but I think they'll call Amons down.
Right.
Boy, he just bowled that tackler right over.
That was great effort on his part. And again, you love to be in the position of being 2nd and 4.
Ball at the 40-yard line. McGinty splits to the left. Jim Miller is to the right. Double wing, which is the classic run-and-shoot formation. Now Godman goes in motion to the left. Reardon rolls to the left, throws it out to Godman. Oh, is he hit at the 43-yard line? Oh, my. What a defensive play made by Chris Zarinsky. Oh, did he put a hit on Godman?
That just shows you the change-up in what Admiral King has been doing, because the first half, that pass was caught without any test at all, and he was able to gain yardage after it. This time, as soon as the motion, they brought their defensive back up, and he attacked right away, so he just had time to catch it and be hit. 3rd down and 8 from the 42-yard line. Sean Reardon doesn't like what he sees defensively. He takes a timeout. 1:17 to go in the third, 20-14. Admiral King. We'll be back right after this. 3rd down and 8. Lorain High at the Admiral King 42-yard line. We were talking during the timeout. Jeff Risen says look for a pass to McGinty. He split to the left. Jim Miller is to the right. And now Eddie Miller comes in motion to the right. Reardon back to pass. Sets. Throws almost intercepted and dropped, and that's Lorain at the 39-yard line. But again, he read that play perfectly. Right. And they went to the strong side away from McGinty that time. They tried a slant, and Lorain, with his excellent quickness, was able to come across and knock it down and almost intercept it. And when he gets his hands on the ball, watch out. He picks one off with Green in front of him. You'll be chasing him for a long time to come. Well, Jim Uzinski is going to try to pin Admiral King deep. Reardon to punt the ball away. And it's a high end-over-end kick. And fielded at the 10-yard line. Riggins dropped right there. We've got a flag flying. Riggins was nailed immediately after catching that football. Might even put him back further, I have a feeling here. Steelmen are saying it's against Admiral King. Block below the waist. Illegal block, possibly. So that'll push them back inside their own 10. Got a clip against Admiral King. He'll march it off half the distance. So it'll be at the 5-yard line. Again, I want to remind our listeners on WOBL that tomorrow morning, Ralph Mayer, the head coach of the Sailors from Vermilion High School, will be my guest on the 1320 Sports Brunch. It's from 11 until 1 o'clock. Live at McGarvey's on Liberty Avenue in Vermilion. Certainly looking forward to talking to Ralph. Can't wait to ask him about those 28 passes he threw last night, defying his own philosophy. First down and 10 for the Admirals at their own 5-yard line. I formation. Lorain slips down. He gets the handoff, and he's dropped right at the 5. Well, the Steelman defense just bunching up there. They had about 8 men on the line of scrimmage, and Lorain slipped. Right, that threw the timing off of the play, but again, like you see the kickoff run, sometimes you see a play like that broken. Sorry, that was Henry Riggins in the backfield. Certainly don't want to get those two players confused. It'll be 2nd down and 11 at the 4-yard line. Lopez splits to the left. Riggins deep in the eye, actually standing in his own end zone. Handoff goes to Pavlich, the fullback, and he bowls his way out to the 10-yard line. So he gives the Admirals a little bit of breathing space right now. And that looks like that'll be the last play here in the 3rd quarter with about 8 seconds. Clock winds down, and I'm sure Tom Milcisco will want to talk things over with his assistants down on the field, as again he's up in the booth. So we've completed 3, 20-14. The Admirals lead by 6 after 3 quarters, but they're facing a 3rd down and 5 at their own 10-yard line.
We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this.
The Admirals face a 3rd and 6 situation. This ball holds 10-yard line. They switch into the field. The ball handed off up the middle. And close to the first down, not going to get it. Up to about the 14-yard line. It's Henry Riggins.
Riggins gets the handoff to start the fourth quarter for Admiral King, and he brings it out to about the 14-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy of the first, so Admiral King will have to punt it away, Jeff.
And that's an important defensive stand for Lorain at this point, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and they should get good field position, even though with the change of the quarter, Admiral King will get the win now and punt with the win.
11.5 minutes to go in the fourth. Admiral King leading by 6, 20-14. Agassi will kick it away from his own 5. High end-over-end kick, and taken at the 49 by Miller, looking for room to the right, and he's running east-west to the 45, and he slips down at the 49. So he was going to the right side, looking for that wall again, and he was dropped at the 49. So
just, you know, looking at this, though, they've tried it all afternoon, and it appears Admiral King has it well defensed. He would have been better off to go up the field this time, and, you know, he ran 20 yards laterally and didn't gain a yard. If he could have got 5, at least, if he had gone up the field. So
the Steelmen have it 1st down and 10 at their own 49-yard line with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Double wing. Bo Amon's all alone behind Sean Reardon. Now Godman comes in motion to the left. Reardon back to pass. Quick hitter over the middle, complete to the 40, down to the 37-yard line is big Jim Miller. Put it right on the numbers.
And I noticed that play on the far side where Miller caught the ball, that they were giving him that pattern because the defensive back looked to be extraordinarily off of him, 10 yards off of him, giving him too much of a cushion.
So it's a 1st down and 10 for the Steelmen. They're at the Admiral King 37-yard line. McGinty is split to the left. Miller to the right. Ball's at the right hash mark. Godman comes in motion to the left. Handoff goes to Amons inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Pickup of about 2, maybe 3. Steve Allen and Steve Hicks in on the tackle. And now we've got a very late flag. Let's see what the call is here. That flag, we've got unsportsmanlike conduct against Admiral King. That's a mental error you cannot have at this particular point in the ball game.
That's for sure, and you're only up by 6 points. You know, a touchdown and an extra point could win it for Lorain. A big 15-yard penalty puts the ball all the way down on the 19-yard line.
So a 1st down and 10 for the Steelmen. You talk about coaches getting gray hairs. There's one right there for Tom Milcisco. 1st down and 10 for the Steelmen, and they're knocking on the door. They're at the Admiral King 19-yard line. 10:25 to go, fourth quarter. Steelmen down by 6, 20-14. Reardon back to pass, rolling to the left, sets up, throws incomplete, looking for McGinty at the 10-yard line. McGinty was double covered by Saunders and Zarinsky.
I thought he was very well covered. He just had to throw that ball away that time.
And that's a good decision from Sean Reardon.
Right, rather than take a loss, you know, at this point, I think this is going to be a critical drive in the game.
Now 2nd down and 10. Ball just about in the middle of the field. Jim Miller splits to the right, McGinty is to the left. And Dax Comer again about 10 yards off of Jim Miller on the right side. Godman
open again.
Comes in motion to the left. Reardon sacked at the 25-yard line. He tried to hit Jim Miller, but the rush came in too quickly.
26.
Steve Allen, the nose tackle, came in and put the lick on him, but he was looking for Miller because Dax Comer had really backed off.
Again.
So now it's 3rd down and 16 as Reardon was dropped at his own 25-yard line. 9:45 to go. Big play here.
Again, I would be keying McGinty here.
McGinty to the left, Miller to the right. Amons all alone behind Reardon. Godman in motion to the left. Reardon back to pass. Sets up, lobs it for McGinty. Again he turns, and it's incomplete at the goal line. Again, he had to adjust his pattern, and the ball was almost picked off for the Admirals by defensive back Brian Lopez.
Another flag. I don't know what they have here. Maybe a hold.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Lorain. So the teams have traded unsportsmanlike conduct calls. The ball was at the 25-yard line.
I think they called it on Reardon that time. something happened at the end of the play.
So that'll push the ball back to the 40-yard line, and Sean Reardon saying, after you spot the ball, I want a timeout. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Lorain High, and now the Steelmen elect to take a timeout. So they're at their own 40, facing a 4th and 31 with 9:28 to go in the 4th quarter, and we'll be back from George Daniel Field in Lorain right after this.
I think they got to play for field position right now. You know, 4th and 31 is an awful lot to make up. It would just have to take almost like an Admiral King play at the end of the first half to be able to score now. And you know they're going to play off, and I would think right now Lorain High will punt and try to stop them again. There's plenty of time left. It's not a panic situation in any means.
See if Reardon will go for the coffin corner on a punt. As Coach Uzinski trots back to the sideline.
Going for it.
Well, he lines up under center, so let's see what happens here. McGinty to the left, Jim Miller to the right. And now Nazario goes in motion to the right on a 4th and 31. Flags down, Reardon back to pass, throws over the middle, complete down to the 20.
I think they might have a motion penalty, though.
He hit Godman. Well, they picked up about 21 of the 31. And Godman saying it's against Admiral King. But it's not. It's against Lorain High. It's an illegal motion. So that'll nullify the pass play. Well, he brought it down to the 20, and maybe he was thinking if he punts it into the end zone, they're going to get it at the 20 anyway. So let's see if he can break it.
That's true. At this point, though, I've got to believe they're going to punt. Now, with it being 4th and 36.
They decline it.
The Admirals decline it. They'll say, well, we'll take the ball over at the 20 anyway.
All right.
So Tom El Cisco elects to take the football at his own 20-yard line, so the play will stand from Reardon to Godman. But again, they picked up 21, they needed 31. So Admiral King takes over. 9:20 to go. They're nursing a 6-point lead. It's 20-14. And now I'm sure we'll see Tom El Cisco keep the ball on the keep the ball on the ground, try to run some time off this clock.
Right, the game is in their hands right now if they can just establish their offense and put together a string of first downs.
Pitch back, goes to Lorain. Lorain looking for room, gets outside to the 30, tries to break a tackle. He does it, a 35 to the 40, to the 45, spins away to the 50, to the 49-yard line of Lorain High. Oh, what a pretty run from Greg Lorain. That was beautiful.
Excellent. He's showing some excellent running ability, and he's very adept at breaking tackles as well. And again, sudden change is what we call it when you change from offense to defense, and Lorain wasn't able to challenge that. King took advantage of it, and they still have the momentum.
31-yard gain for Greg Lorain out to the 49-yard line of Lorain High. First down and 10 for the Admirals. Pitch back goes to Lorain. Lorain over right tackle, dropped at the 49. Godman came up from free safety and put him down.
That was an excellent play by their free safety, coming right up in there to stop him before he could really get started.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. That run by Greg Lorain was in the tradition of Admiral King tailbacks, Dunlap and Nix and Raymond Harris.
That's for sure.
2nd down and 10. Lorain again deep in the eye. Ball's at the right hash mark. Brian Lopez is to the right. Putz is in the wing to the left. Akesy back to pass. Sets up, plants, throws deep, looking for Lopez. Incomplete at the 20-yard line. And Lopez didn't quite react back to that ball like he needed to.
No, I think he was looking to throw to him from the very beginning, because if he'd have looked back over the middle, I thought there were a couple of his other receivers open.
What they call bird dogging a receiver.
Right.
So now it's 3rd down and 10 at the 49-yard line. Clock stops with 7:54 to go. So after the no gain attempt from Lorain and the incomplete pass, the Admirals may now be forced to put the ball in the air. Dax Comer's to the left, Putz is in the wing to the left. Akesy drops back, again sets up, all the time in the world, throws it over the middle, complete to the 38-yard line. Comer was drilled by Godman, but that's enough for the first down, pickup of 11. And right there, that's an indication where a receiver plays smart, knowing what he needs to get that first down.
Excellent at holding on to the football, because he took a vicious hit right after he caught the ball, and usually you see him pop loose when that happens.
And we've got a Steelman down on the plate. Dan DeWitt, the senior defensive tackle, is down at his own actually at the Admiral King 49-yard line. We're now in Steelman territory, looking to put some insurance points on the board. You can see the quarterback huddling the team out near the midfield stripe. Lopez splits to the right. Hutz again is in the wing to the left. I formation. Hussein at the 45-yard line. Handoff goes to Pavlich. Pavlich just dives to the 35-yard line, pick up of about 3 or 4. But again, more of a play to keep the defense honest than anything else.
That's right, because they took the wing and put him to the left, and so I think Lorain was thinking right away, watch the sweep, because that's what's hurt him so much this second half. And then they gave the ball in the fullback belly to Pavlich, and he was able to pick up 3.
Dax Comer brings the play in. He splits to the left. Hutz is now in the wing to the right. I formation. Akasi hands off to Hussein, but over right guard, breaks a tackle inside the 35 to the 31-yard line. Be a yard or 2 shy of the first, but again, the clock now the factor as we have less than 7 minutes to go.
They're really in 4-down territory too, I would think at this point. Rather than punting, if they wouldn't make it here, I would think they'd go for it on 4th down.
3rd and 2.
With Saikuda, though, they can kick a field goal with a wind at their back too.
And it's really starting to gust now. Well, just about in the middle of the field, wing right, pitch back goes to Hussein, looking for room right side to the 30, to the 25, inside the 20, fumbles the football, it's loose, and the Steelmen have it at the 15-yard line. Are they going to rule it out of bounds? Let's see. They rule the ball out of bounds, and it will go to Admiral King. And Jeff, I don't know about that call.
Right, that's a judgment call by the official. It sure looked like the Lorain kid had the ball diving on it, but evidently it was his judgment that he didn't have it going on the stripe.
Well, the vote here in the box is 2-2 because Gary says he was juggling it, and Ralph Mayer sitting behind Gary says he was juggling it. I thought he had it. But the Admirals have the football, 1st down and 10 at the 15-yard line of Lorain High. I formation. Hutz in motion to the left. Handoff goes to Pavlich, and he gets to the 13-yard line. Pickup of 2. Josh Hall brought him down. It'll be 2nd down.
That's a good
8.
play call, too, because right now Lorain was really looking for the sweep. I saw one of the Lorain Steelmen with his back to the fullback, didn't even know he had the ball that time.
And by the time Admiral King snaps the ball on this play, we'll have less than 6 minutes to go. Lopez goes wide to the left. I formation, wing to the right. Akasi, pitch back goes to Hussein, looking for room left side. Trying to get outside, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, and he's in for the touchdown! Hussein with touchdown number 3 today. With 5:44 to go in the 4th quarter of play, and the Admirals lead 26-14.
And I think what they did there is they had a wing to the right, and they swept the ball to the left, to the split end, and I'm sure they caught Lorain leaning toward the wing, and it was all there. All they needed was a block, and they got one out there by their split end, and that was enabled them to go in.
And Kerry Metler was out leading the way as well. He pulled from the left guard and just got outside.
So going to go for 2 after missing the last extra point attempt.
Backs are now split behind Akasi. Hutz to the left. Akasi back to pass, lobs it out, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Saunders. So it's now 26-14. So the Steelmen still only down by 2 touchdowns.
Time is definitely against them, though. They're going to have to score in a hurry.
In the 4th quarter of play, as Greg Hussein has scored 3 touchdowns this afternoon for the Admiral.
Right. And it was real close. You could see the ball rolling, that it was going to be, you know, a very tough call to see.
So Saikuda will kick off. Short kick taken by Godwin at the 15, out to the 20, to the 25, looking for room up the middle to the 30, and dropped at the 31-yard line. So the Steelmen will have to cover 69 yards here, and 5:35 to go. And then they'll have to get the football back and put another one in the end zone. Tall order for Lorain High.
And I think it's that time in the ball game where they're going to have to start throwing the ball down the field. They don't have to panic, but at the same time, the short, flat passes, I think they're going to have to move the ball up the field further than that.
Jim Miller splits to the right. McGinty is to the left. Reardon puts Nazario in motion to the right. Sean back to pass, sets, throws it out, caught at the 41-yard line to the 45 is Jim Miller. So they got the first down there. And we'll see if they go without a huddle. Well, no, they're going to huddle up.
Nice gain, about 12, 13-yard gain, and that's what I meant when I said what I just did earlier, and go a little bit farther than throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage and run. That time they got it up the field.
McGinty to the left, Miller is to the right, ball's at the right hash mark. And now Godman comes in motion to the left. Reardon back to pass. Throwing downfield, he's got McGinty at the 45 of Admiral King, cuts up to the 40 and dives ahead to the 37-yard line. So they've gotten 2 big plays right off the bat.
And nearly a late hit there at the end of it when he was down.
So Lorain High now at the 36 of Admiral King, 4:45 to go. And McGinty didn't get out of bounds, so they wind the clock. Again, Miller splits to the right, McGinty is to the left, which is now the short side of the field. Double wing, Bo Amons all alone behind Reardon. Nazario goes in motion to the right. Reardon back to pass. Now rolls to the right.
He's wide
Sets,
open.
throws. He's got Miller inside the 20, knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Again, that Admiral King defensive back playing so far off of Jim Miller, all he has to do is run it down and out.
How many times you see it in the pro game too? You know, you're up by some points and it's getting late, and you throw that ugly word "prevent" in there, and you don't really do what you say.
Prevent you from winning.
Right, that's right.
First down and 10 at the 17-yard line. So 3 plays, and the Steelmen are now knocking on the door. Godman in motion to the left. Reardon back to pass. Here comes the heat. Throws it out, and it's picked off at the 13-yard line. Jamie Saunders with the interception.
There's an excellent play by, I'm looking for a number here. It looked like number 4, but I'm not certain.
Scott Wolf.
Right, he was the one that came in, and I don't know where he came from, but there was pressure, and he hit him as he threw the ball.
So Reardon throws the interception, and with 4:12 to go, Admiral King gets the football back at their own 13-yard line. But again, Wolf came on the blitz, and Saunders, just playing center field at that particular point, was actually down on his knees, but Reardon threw it right to him. I don't think Sean ever saw him.
No, I don't think so either. It came from his blind side that time.
Well, they must have called it incomplete.
Oh.
Well, Reardon lines him up. The ball is, well, the ball's at the 14-yard line. Now there's no, the Steelmen lined up offensively, and it appears as though Saunders had the interception. I don't think that ball ever touched the ground.
Yeah, I thought so too. I don't understand what.
And if the ball wasn't intercepted, it should be back at the 17-yard line.
Unless they ruled it a fumble after it. I have no idea, to tell you.
Well, the officials are conferring with the coach. I'm not exactly sure what has transpired here, to be 100% honest. It appeared as though James Saunders had a clean interception. He was on his knees, but he caught the ball right in his chest. And if he was on his knees when he caught it, he'd be down anyway. Gary?
What happened was they whistled, he was down, the quarterback, Reardon was down.
It doesn't matter, I guess. But
They were arguing over
very strange.
They're going to say, well, we'll clarify it at some point. Reardon, under center, puts Godman in motion to the left. Handoff to Amons, big hole up the middle inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. Well, I'm totally baffled. We haven't gotten an explanation up here yet, and when we do so, we'll certainly pass it along. So he didn't catch it. Ralph Mayer behind us saying Saunders didn't catch the ball. Well, then why'd they mark it at the 14?
I think the one pass completion earlier did get it down there on the flag pattern.
Ball at the 8-yard line. Reardon rolling to the right, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself to the 5, down to the 2. Didn't quite get in.
He's close. Looks like they're spotting it even closer to the 1, maybe.
Just shy, inside the 2 at the 1-yard line. 3.5 minutes to go. Again, Lorain High down by 2 touchdowns. It's 26-14. Ball just outside the goal line at the 1. McGinty splits to the left. Bo Amons all alone behind Sean Reardon. Miller is to the right. Reardon.
You'd have to key Amons on this.
Keeps it himself, sneaks over for the touchdown. So Reardon goes over from 1 yard out, and we've got 3:10 to go. And it's a 26-20 game. Well, Reardon brings it over.
Well, with 3 minutes left, you wonder, too, I'm not certain how many timeouts Lorain has used at this point. I know they did, I'm sure they had one.
I got 2 left.
They have 2 left. I think you're going to look at an onside kick possibility coming up.
Tieman's extra point attempt is good. It's a 26-21 ball game, 3:10 to go, and we'll be back right after this. Except the football, they said it touched the ground, but the chain crew had moved the chains, and so they couldn't move them back to where it was originally, so they had to mark the ball at the 14-yard line because the chains had been moved.
You can see the one official even during this timeout or stop and play. He's talking to the chain crew. I think they anticipated interception, moved, and then it was a guessing game as to where the ball was.
And Lorain High shifts everybody over to the left. Here comes the onside kick. They bounce it. It bounces over the head, but down at the 39-yard line, and we've got a late flag. Well, John Bareback dove in there attempting to knock that ball loose from the man who had recovered it for Admiral King. I didn't quite catch the number.
It was a good call because the Admiral King man received the ball, went directly to his knees just to cover it, and then he was hit right away, and he was down, so there's no need for the hit.
So they'll mark off the 15-yard penalty against Lorain. 4th penalty of the afternoon against the Steelmen for 45 yards. And now Admiral King has it 1st down and 10 at the Lorain High 45-yard line. 3:06 to go. 26-21, the Admirals with a 5-point lead. I formation. Hutz in the wing to the right. Pitch back. Goes to Riggins. Riggins inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And after a while, when you start to play that power-oriented football, you just wear the defense down.
That's true, and you know, there's been so many momentum changes in this game, and they seem to have been working against Lorain, and that was another one. You know, the 15-yard penalty, and you've got to come back on 1st down and make a good play. Now they're 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1 at the 36-yard line. Again, I formation. Double tight end. Handoff goes to Riggins. Riggins racked up at the 34-yard line, but that's enough for the 1st down. And again, the clock is now the important factor as we're down to 2:18 to go in the 4th quarter. So again, the explanation on that apparent interception was that it was not an interception. The ball did hit the ground as Saunders went down, but the chain crew had already moved the chains anticipating the interception, so that's why Lorain High was able to push it up 3 or 4 yards. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Pitch back goes to Riggins. Riggins gets to the 30, breaks outside to the 25, ridden out of bounds at the 23-yard line.
There's really no need to change what's working. You know, they've been doing this the whole 2nd half and very effectively with a sweep. First Lorain and now Riggins has been really ripping off some big gains, and it's disheartening to Lorain High because the only way they'll have a chance to win is if they get the ball back, and right now that looks very suspect.
And now you're going to see Lorain High try to tackle that football, strip it loose. They're going to bring the chains all the way across the field to measure for the 1st down. By the way, our coverage of high school football resumes next Friday night on 1320 as Gary Pelter and I will be over at Clearview High School to bring you the Wolverines taking on the Clearview Clippers in another Lorain County Conference ball game. What a tough conference that is. That one will go right down to the wire. You've got Admiral King next week.
Right, and they've been very impressive this afternoon.
Sure, you and Don Richardson will be putting together something defensively.
He's sitting right to our left down in front of us, and I'm sure he's been charting just about everything King has been doing.
Lorain left, Lorain right, Riggins left, Riggins right. But well, in all seriousness, though, now you got Akessi to worry about. Right. He's had a good ball game.
And that's, you know, that was our fault last night, was we were not as good as we'd like to be against the pass.
1st down and 10 for the Admirals at the 23-yard line of Lorain High, 1:58 to go. And Pavlich gets the handoff, but beforehand, We had flags flying, so that'll push Admiral King back 5 as they took too much time. Seems hard to believe you can have a delay of game when they had to bring the chains all the way across. By then you should be able to get your play in.
That's right.
But instead they'll mark them off 5, pushes them back to the 28-yard line, where it will now be first down and 15. And the official instructs the man running the clock to put a few seconds back on there. Got the official's mic today here at George Daniel Field. And they're going to hold things up until they put that time back on the clock, because they did run 3 seconds off. It was 1:58, and now we're down to 1:55. And the delay of game.
What they're probably going to do is they're going to let the clock
comes back on real quick like they do in the pros.
So first and 15 from the 28-yard line for Admiral King. Again, Riggins deep in the eye, standing at the 35-yard line. Akesy under center, hands off to Riggins. Riggins met and dropped. He may have gotten 2 at the most. It'll be second down and 13. Jamie Godwin. And now they run the clock.
Lorain was a recipient of about 4 or 5 seconds there.
So the ball at about the 28-yard line. It'll be second down and long. But again, Admiral King right now just wanting to run that clock. Hutz in the wing to the right, I formation. Agassi pitch back goes to Riggins. He slips down and he's dropped at the 29-yard line. Loss of 1, and now Jim Uzinski says get a timeout. So 1:22 to go. Lorain High is down to 1 timeout, but it's now third and long. Third and about 15 for Admiral King. Wolf in the wing to the right. Again, I formation with Riggins deep in the eye. Standing at the 35-yard line. Double tight end. Handoff goes to Riggins. Big hold to the 20. Cuts back against the grain and dropped at the 20-yard line. So he got about 8 of it. And the Steelmen must be out of timeouts because the clock is running. Down to 107, 106, 105. And now it's 4th down. And the Admirals,
they're not in a hurry to get a play in either. It looks like they might even take a delay.
Take the delay of game penalty. So they're just going to let the clock roll all the way down, take the 5-yard penalty, and let it run down as far as it can. Down to 41, 40. Well, now he brings them up, and there's the delay of game. And they ticked another second off. 36 seconds to go. Hasn't exactly been Swiss timing here this afternoon. So they'll mark off the 5-yard penalty, pushes it back to the 26-yard line, where it's now 4th and 13, but again, only 36 seconds to go.
Something interesting always seems to transpire when they come over to George.
To say the least. And now the Admirals take a timeout. Well, they're going to talk things over. We'll keep it right here. 4th and 13 from the 26-yard line. Admiral King with a 26-21 lead over Lorain High. Tight end.
The Admirals get a first down.
Dax Comer to the right. Wolf splits to the left. I formation.
Although Hutz is split wide left.
Akesy, play action, keeps it himself to the 25 and drop. No, he's still on his feet to the 20, to the 15, inside the 15. He's got the first down at the 12. A pickup of 14 yards, and that'll be the ball game.
It was a good call, too, because, you know, there's no risk there throwing the ball, and he's running the ball, so time is going off the clock as he's running wide. If he makes the first down, you've won the game. If he doesn't, the clock is still going, and really that's the game right there.
That's the ball game, because all they have to do now is just fall on the football, and actually they may not even have to run a play. It looks like they're going to. 13, 12, 11. I'm sure Akesy will just fall on the football, and that'll be it. So Admiral King will come away with a 26-21 win over here at George Daniel Field. Well, he pitches back to Riggins. Riggins inside the 5, dropped at the 3-yard line, and that's the ball game. So the Admirals from Admiral King up their record to 2-4. They knock off the Lorain High Steelmen 26-21 here at George Daniel Field in Lorain, in what was a very entertaining football game. Jeff, I enjoyed it. It was a good one.
Yes, it was fun, and again, just what I remember when Lorain and King play. It's a hard-fought game, and it came down to within a touchdown.
They go at it, hammer, tooth, and nail. Well, I'll tell you what, since this was the 6th game of the year, we're going to take caller number 6 right now to win a pair of Browns Chiefs tickets, courtesy of Tavern on the Mall on Midway Boulevard in Elyria. Caller number 6 at 322-1570, 988-4886-774-1320. Wins a pair of Browns tickets, courtesy of Tavern on the Mall on Midway Boulevard in Elyria. Caller 6. We'll be back with more from George Daniel Field in Lorain right after this.